We are at the Amarant Bank Arena, Panthers and Stars tonight. And our friend Rob Pizzola is on the Toyota of Hollywood hotline. Rob Pizzola is a professional sports gambler. Comes to us courtesy of the Hammer Betting Network. The Hammer produces daily sports betting content for every major North American sport, minus table tennis. You can visit thehammer.bet, or you can go to YouTube and search The Hammer HQ. You can follow Rob on Twitter at Rob Pizzola. Hello, Rob.
Hello, Mark.
So you heard in the last segment us talking about Taco Bell. I consider Taco Bell to be such a great treat. They have that in Canada?
We do have Taco Bell in Canada, yes.
And it's called Taco Bell?
It's called Taco Bell. Menu's the same. I frequented Taco Bell across North America back in the day, but I no longer frequent it.
No longer?
I no longer do.
Now, why is that?
Okay, so, well, I mean,
terrible. It's such a treat.
There's something I can't get over with Taco Bell. So, as a college student, you put anything in your body. It's just like kind of the way it is. You're going to eat whatever you can to get by. But I used to go through the Taco Bell drive-thru pretty regularly, and I would just get Taco Bell through a drive-thru, quick, be on my way, and be out. One day, drive-thru line is like super long, so I'm like, yeah, I'll just run in here and I'll get Taco Bell inside. And it was the first time in my life I've ever seen meat being pumped out of a dispenser, like it was ketchup, basically being pumped out of.
So good. That's
and as soon as I'm like, typically, when I'm gonna eat meat, I think of it as a solid, but not as something being pumped out of a dispenser.
Right.
And I have since never been able to get over the mental hurdle of just having a bunch of meat in a dispenser that's being pumped into tacos.
So sexy. This is like OnlyFans to me. This is my
liquid meat.
Liquid meat. So good. I don't know what to tell you. Everybody loves to hate on McDonald's and Taco Bell because it's fast food. I like the McRib, but people send me that video every year of the McRib, which is just this plank of pork, and they dip it in this vat of barbecue sauce that sticks to it. And they always send this around thinking that, like, hey, this is what you eat so much, like I'm going to be disgusted by it. And when I see it, I'm like, that looks great to me. Like, I don't know what's wrong with everybody. You go to Taco Bell, you know that you're getting squirt meat. Who cares?
I didn't know for a long time. I didn't know, and that was fine because I will ingest.
There was an old Mexican abuela.
Well, I didn't know what was going on, but I imagine somebody was putting the tacos together via hand or something, and it wasn't just being pumped out of a dispenser. Like,
I don't think they really pumped the meat out of a dispenser.
Oh, I saw it pumped out of a dispenser. I cannot erase the vision. I'm telling you, go into Taco Bell, pay attention as to what's going on in the back there. It's a pump, and it's just being pumped into. But like,
you sure it wasn't like a neighborhood place called Taco Bill?
No, it was Taco Bell, same
like
logo.
McDonald's,
That's how I know.
I
know because it was the same logo. It was the same logo, but. Yeah, my
and
wife.
You've never had it since?
I've not eaten Taco Bell since then. It's a mental hurdle. It's like some people, it's like nails on a chalkboard. They hear that and they just lose it. And for me, the sheer thought of thinking about Taco Bell just takes me back to that dude pumping meat into the taco. And I'm just like, I can't, I'm not, my wife is, my wife doesn't eat pork because my wife's a veterinarian. She was a veterinarian before, and pigs are smart animals. So she won't eat pork. She won't eat octopus or anything like that. But she's always trying to send me these videos of like, oh, look at what they do to the pig. I'm like, don't send me this stuff. I don't want to know. As long as I don't know, I'm going to enjoy bacon and all,
Right.
I love pork.
But tasty.
Right. But if I were to see that, then it would be a real problem. And I don't want that because I'm reliving my Taco Bell experience.
Well, I told you about What the Health, that show that came out. What the Health? Have you ever heard of it?
That changed your life.
I saw that as the chickens, the salmonella.
Yeah, no, I got the salmonella chickens and them poking these pigs and all this nasty stuff going on. And I was sitting there eating a plate of chicken wings with my wife, and she was like, "How could you eat a plate of chicken wings and watch this go on?" I said, "I don't know them chickens."
Right.
He's like, have you tried this? Have you tried this barbecue sauce? How could you not eat this? How could you not eat these wings?
Let's be honest. The world is the world. Not every chicken's a good chicken. You know what I'm saying? Some of them are poorly behaved chickens that may have deserved whatever came to them.
Mark, I grew up. My grandfather had chickens when I was growing up for a little period of time. Chickens are incredibly dumb animals. Like, they don't know what's going on. I'm not feeling bad for eat. We got to eat something. This is a food system. Like,
right.
Humans are at the top and stuff below us. And listen, if I don't discriminate. If you're vegan, vegetarian, you do what you want. Everyone, I don't discriminate. I don't. But at the end of the day, I'm not feeling bad for eating a chicken. These guys don't even, you stack, like, you put a chicken and try to get it to walk in one direction. It can't even function. They don't know what they're doing. So how am I going to feel bad about eating this thing?
And every time an animal gets his shot to eat a human, they go for it. You know, it's not frequent, but when they get a shot, they go for it.
Yeah,
so,
exactly. The ones that are at the top of the food chain, go into the woods and come across a bear and see what happens. You think the bear is going to be like, you know what? We feel bad for you. You can move on in life and go back to doing the things you were doing before. No, it's all about the food chain.
Rest in peace, Harambe.
Oh, don't bring that up. Dark days for Harambe.
Oh,
that Cincinnati zoo has never been the same.
Your household must have been like a library. You couldn't talk for a while. So your wife is just a big animal lover, obviously.
I am too. I'm an animal lover too. I've had pets. To the left of me in my office, I have a tortoise right over here. Tortellini. He walks around. I got my dog downstairs.
Tortoise. You have a pet rock. You have a tortoise. I mean,
you know what? He's very social. He's a
tortoise. He's not social. What are you talking about?
If I walk over to his little tank here now, he's going to walk up. And if you did, Mark, he would come up and say hello to you as well. He's a very social. I like animals.
I'm not walking up to say hello to your tortoise.
I like animals. But let's say if tortoise soup was good, tasted great, I wouldn't have an issue with it, even though I have.
You could turn on tortellini just like that.
I'm not going to eat him. I'm bonded with him.
All right.
But another tortoise, sure, why not?
I actually had this argument with my kids because they're like, our dog name's Nino, and they're like, Nino loves us. I say, no, Nino loves food. Stop feeding him and see if he still runs up to you. I think Tortellini loves for you to put lettuce in his tank.
He's a big fan of fruit day. Actually, today was fruit day for him. He got mango, he got some pear. He goes nuts. He leaves the lettuce behind on those days. He's like, you're gonna try to feed me some green leaf lettuce with this good stuff? No, not happening. But
shout out to the bear.
Yep.
Somebody texted in, I worked at Taco Bell for 5 years. It does not come out of a dispenser. It comes out of a bag and gets heated up. Somebody else texts in, hey, heck, I actually worked at Taco Bell years ago. The meat comes out of a bag. It's pre-made.
Okay.
Somebody else says they pump the sauces, not the meat. Google how the meat is prepared. This guy was on many drugs in college.
That is not wrong, for one. However, I need to establish the timelines as well of when these people worked at Taco Bell. Because for me, this would have been roughly like 2006 to 2008-ish type of area.
Pumping meat out of a dispenser.
Mark, I saw them pump the meat. I saw it with my own eyes. I'm like, what is going on here? I cannot unsee it. It was maybe it was sauce, but in my mind, it was meat. It was meat.
No chance. Rob Pizzola. Follow him on Twitter at Rob Pizzola. Let me go through some of these before we run out of time. Dolphins and Titans, Monday Night Football. Fins are 13.5-point favorites.
Yeah, and they're setting these totals, like the total's 46.5 in this game. What's Miami's floor for points in these games? Like, they're going to score in the 30s almost every time against bad. This is a pass funnel defense, right? That takes a lot of risks. This isn't like the game against the Raiders a few weeks back. Miami scores 20 points because the Raiders play too high the entire game and they have to dink and dunk upfield. This is a Tennessee defense that can stop the run, but cannot stop the pass and takes a lot of chances in the passing game. I think Miami is going to score a ton. I'm not interested in laying super big prices in the NFL, 13.5-point favorite, but the total to me is way low at 46.5. It's kind of the same handicap of Miami-Washington last week. I have a lot of confidence in Miami to score. I don't think Tennessee's going to get shut out. I think they probably score in the teens. Give me the over.
All right, over on the Dolphins. Tonight, the Heat are in your city, Toronto. Are you going to the game?
I'm not, but I actually considered going to the game tonight, and I told my wife about it, and she said she shut it down real quick. So I'm at home tonight, unfortunately.
Would you ever bring your Tortoise anywhere?
No, because he's a small guy. I don't want to get picked up by a hawk in the wild or anything like that. You know,
I just didn't know if you bring them out for. I know people bring their dog to like Dairy Queen. No. They get an ice cream.
I don't put Tortellini on a leash and walk him around the block.
All right. How long have you had him?
He's 11 years now.
Yeah.
What?
Yes.
Yeah, tortoises, they live long, right?
He's big.
He must really enjoy his life in that tiny little glass.
You know, here's the thing. My wife brought this guy home. I showed up one night after work. I walk in. I'm like, what the heck is this? Explain this to me. She's like, oh, yeah, I got this tortoise. I'm like, why? Why? And for the first couple years of this guy's life, he made me miserable. He just makes noise all the time. And it's tons of noise, whatever. And
really? Tortoises make noise?
He's bumping around into things. He tries to climb his hut. Yeah. He tries to eat his light. He doesn't know what's going on, right? He makes a lot of noise. But he's gotten bigger now. He's very similar. Maybe same IQ as well. Maybe same IQ. But this is an espresso cup that I'm holding here. This was the size he was when I got him. He's now the size of a full dinner plate right now. He is massive. And my wife wants to get rid of him, but now I'm attached to this guy. I'm like, no, I can't see him go. I can't.
Rob, my front door neighbor, they had like a little farm in their backyard growing up. They had a tortoise. His name was Waffle, giant land tortoise. Correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm not even making a joke here. Tortoises have a tendency to like to hump things. Correct? Like really, like that's kind of what they do. You have a giant tortoise that's just humping a rock in that glass encasing.
So sounds like your neighbor had a perverted tortoise because mine doesn't do that. I have a redfoot tortoise. He hails from South America. I know, South Americans, they like to have fun as well, but he's just normal. He's interested in things. But honestly, it's just sad to say, but like once a week, he falls over on his back and just ends up like flailing his arms in the air. And he would just die in the wild. I think about this all the time. I'm like, I can't let this guy go. He's hopeless. He tries to climb the wall of his crate. He falls on his back.
No wonder he gets excited when you're walking over. You're literally saving his life. Him and death.
Oh, man. It's tough. But no, he's not humping things.
How about the Heat game tonight? Heat are 3.5-point dogs to the Raptors.
Yeah, obviously with the injuries, it's very difficult to back the Heat right now. The Raptors are pretty rested because they didn't play any of this in-season tournament stuff. So they've been off without any travel, 4 days at home. It's honestly a pretty good spot for the Raptors tonight, and especially with Adebayo out, because the Raptors are very good against undersized teams in terms of getting into the paint and scoring within the paint. So I don't really love the matchup for Miami with the injuries that they have. The market has bet this a lot, right? This was Raptors 1-point underdog. Now they're like 4-point favorites. So I'm not saying to go out and bet the Raptors. I just don't think it's a very good spot for Miami tonight.
All right. How about here? Amerant Bank Arena. Panthers host the Stars. And by the way, it's Aaron Ekblad, mini bobblehead night.
Yeah.
Would you like me to send you one?
Are you going to send me a mini pylon in the mail?
I think we talked about that yesterday, didn't we? We brought that up yesterday. What do you think? I think Panthers are minus 120 favorites tonight.
Yeah, so the under has taken a lot of money in this game. It's been bet off of 6.5 down to 6. I actually like the over now that we've got here. I know Bobrovsky's been playing well. You have Jake Ottinger and Ned on the other side, who's a pretty solid goalie. But these are two teams that are loaded with firepower up front. Like if you look at the Dallas Stars' top 3 lines, it's really hard to compete with them in terms of depth and scoring that they have. Florida's one of the few teams that can do it. So typically speaking, when I get two teams that have a lot of offensive firepower in a total of 6, new age NHL with the amount of penalties that they call, I look towards the over. So that's the way I'm going to play it tonight. I'm going to go against all the market move on the under today and fire back on the over here.
But you wouldn't have done it at 6.5.
No, and 6.5 is a little bit too. I can see why someone wanted to bet under 6.5. Two good goalies. Defensively, the teams have held up well, but Florida's power play struggling. There's a lot of reasons for it, but now that we've gotten to 6, I think that we got to go back the other way.
Possible Tortellini would hump Aaron Ekblad bobblehead if you put it in his cage.
He wouldn't hump it, but he would socialize with it. He'd go in, he'd try to eat his head, maybe eat the hockey stick. He's not a smart animal. He's going to try to eat whatever's in front of him. He doesn't know what's what, but he's not a humper. I'll tell you that.
Trust me, Tortellini's telling his friends, like, this guy's not a smart owner. He's eating squirt meat. I don't know what's going on with this guy, but he's a nice guy.
I've grown attached to him.
He's a great companion. I'd be sad to see him. He's going to outlive me, this guy. Like, we're going to basically live till these guys got like lifespans of 50 years. He's 11 years old.
You don't feel bad? Like, you don't want to take him out of that? Like, he's never been out of that cage in 11 years?
No. In the summer, I'll put him in the backyard so he'll get some natural light instead of like the artificial
raft
one
or something.
Yeah, and
whitewater rafting.
But Mark, I have artificial turf in my backyard because I used to have a Great Dane as a dog, and if she squats in the yard and pees, it's gonna kill the grass. It just you can't save your grass. So at some point, I put in artificial turf. I walk this guy outside, put him out in the backyard to have a good time, enjoy the outdoors, enjoy the sun. There's some dandelion he can eat and whatever. All he wants to do is eat the artificial turf. I'm like, he's just trying to rip the turf up out of the ground. I'm like, we got to go back. He just doesn't. The comparison to Solana was very apt. He just doesn't get it.
All right, Rob Pizzola. There you go. He likes the Panthers over tonight. He likes the Dolphins over on Monday night, and probably not betting the Heat game tonight, but he doesn't think it'll look good for the Heat in Toronto. Rob Pizzola, again, comes to us courtesy of the Hammer Betting Network. The Hammer produces daily sports betting content for every major North American sport. You can visit thehammer.bet. You can go to YouTube and search the Hammer HQ, and you should definitely be following Rob on Twitter at Rob Pizzola. Thank you, Rob.
Thanks, guys. Good luck with your bets this week.